Hello, hello, hello. So today, me and SAT Score are back with another tier list, and we're gonna be going over the top tier 10 battleships and World of Warships for 2025. So we're gonna be going over every single tier 10 battleship that's available or not available. That's just around at this point. And we're gonna be putting them into a 7 tier list. The top tier is gonna be Wargaming Please Nerf, sweaty ships, solid ships, situationally good ships. So if it's good only in certain modes, okay, I guess, meh, and then garbage. So let's get started on this tier 10 best battleship tier list. So the first ship on this list is going to be the Bungo. How would you rate the Bungo SAT Score? How would you personally rate it? I think that overall, I think it's a pretty solid ship, almost sweaty ship, almost. It's like overall, it is really good. You see it in some competitive. We did see it in the WMI. So it is around in some tourneys. But what are your thoughts? Where would you put this ship?
I also would put it in solid. It's a pretty fun ship, especially when you have spotter plane up and you can put 10 shells into like one pixel. The only issue though is that she's not very durable. So if you have to be aggressive, then you can have that can lead to some issues.
Yeah, so if we have Bungo here, Shiki, like, I'm really biased against the Shiki because I'd rather just play Yamato, right? Like if I have a Yamato or a Shiki, I'd rather just play Yamato. So I don't want to put
Well,
it at okay, I guess, because it's technically not that bad, but like,
yeah, you typically get it because of the gun sounds, but Satsuma came out, so like what's the point?
yeah,
Other than showing people you have 32k steelish.
yeah, exactly. For me, the Yamato, like a lot of like the meta is so harsh on Yamato, but it's such a strong ship still to this day. I'll put it in the situationally good because it is still one of the best training battleships in World of Warships training on positioning. Like if you don't play the Yamato well, that's just due to your positioning and your inability to pretty much keep your guns focused on one target. You have to keep your guns off of one side, and if you can't do that, you're not going to play the ship well. And that's why it's situationally good. The Bungo is considered more of a solid ship just because of the fact that it is more versatile what it can do, while a Yamato mostly has that over pin mechanic, and it's not as versatile as a Bungo. So that's why I put the Yamato in the middle. It's definitely better than the Shiki, but Bungo is more versatile in what it can do overall. So that's why I put the Yamato in the middle with the legendary mod. Moving on. Oh,
Personally,
sorry.
I put her in okay, I guess, because pretty much for the same reasons. She's pretty, like, you point her in one direction, she does pretty well, but she kind of struggles if she needs to move around or turn her guns. So yeah, situationally good if you can keep enemies in front of you, not so good if you have to actually maneuver around.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just keep that one for there. Moving on from Yamato, what is the next one on this? We got... next one is going to be the Louisiana. That... Like... Technically speaking, the ship isn't bad, but it's a hybrid, so...
I personally would put her as situationally good.
It's mostly because the guns on it aren't bad, and like the guns on it aren't bad. They're good. But it's like it comes down to the player. Most Louisiana players suck. They're mostly at the back of the map, never actually contributing anything to the game, right? They aren't doing nothing. They're just sitting at the back of the map, only being a CV, barely using guns, barely doing anything besides just flying their planes. So I'll just have it as situationally good, I guess, because it comes down to the player at that point.
Well, Personally, I keep it there because, well, she brings utility to the table, which few other battleships can.
Yeah.
And she can oppress destroyers without spotting.
Mhm.
But she's very difficult to work with. Your hull's not very tanky. It gets even worse if you have to fly your planes. The gun angles are not very good, and your firepower is strictly less than Montana.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of work to try and make the ship get the ship to a reasonable level.
Mhm.
And it works well when you get it to work, but it's just so much of a hassle. So that's why I like to put it as situationally good.
Mhm. So, off of the Louisiana, we have the Montana. I'm going to put the Montana at solid. Like, when you play a Montana, you know what you're going to get out of that ship, right? You know exactly what you're going to get every time, right? You don't see it around too much like you do on average, but when you play it, you know exactly what you're going to get. So I pick Montana. Like, it just doesn't disappoint. You get that same performance in it every time. Good HE, good AP, good heal, great tankiness. Overall, just great. It just does good at everything, and isn't really bad at one thing. It's just good all around ship. And I put it at a solid ship just because of that. Just amazing overall.
Yep. There's not much of a weakness. There's like no major weaknesses for Montana, so it's really up to the player to utilize her strengths or leverage the enemy's weaknesses to her advantage.
Yep. All right. So next ship is going to be the Rhode Island. I feel like when I see a Rhode Island, it's literally with sweats. Like, it is.
Yep, that's what I think too.
Yep, sweats. It's pretty much an American Bourgogne, right? So Bourgogne's gonna be up here, right? It's literally an American Bourgogne. You play them almost exactly the same, except this has radar and doesn't have an engine boost or a reload booster, right?
Pretty sure it has an engine boost.
Oh yeah, sorry, it does have an engine boost. My apologies. It doesn't have a reload booster, is what I meant. Essentially, you do the exact same playstyle as a Bourgogne, just American with radar, and it does great in that way. So amazing.
You also get faster heals.
Oh, that's true. You do get those quick heals.
And also like the Rhode Island, the 14-inch guns are smaller, but you get let me double check. I think you get slightly better pen angles on it. Yeah, 50 to 65.
That's really good.
So you have a bit, really good at hitting cruisers that are not properly angled.
Yep, so that's Rhode Island in the sweaty ships. Moving on from there is Ohio. We got to put it in sweaty ships. This thing is one of the top clan battleships, ranked ships, random battleships, and World of Warships. Very versatile in the builds you can do. You can build for secondaries, you can jack up all trade, you can build for sniper. Great heal, great guns, good maneuverability for what it is. Just overall, just amazing. Is in pretty much every single competitive play. Definitely in the sweaty ships, 100%. Definitely up there.
Actually, she doesn't see as much competitive play. There's just other specialized ships that gets used more often. She's a nice jack of all trades, though. And personally, I put her at like a high solid ship just because like she's good all around, similar to the Montana. Though I don't think it's that much stronger to put her in the sweaty ship side. But you could definitely, but she's powerful enough where she can be on the lower end of sweaty ships.
Yeah,
though.
so we'll be going in the tier list later. So we'll tier list like them later. We're just filling up the tier list. So we'll put her in the what category for each one whenever we're done. So moving on from that ship, we have the good old Vermont. Vermont, I hate to do this to the Vermont because I love it, but it's going to be situationally good. Just because of the fact, even though I love the brick smash, that super long reload really hurts it. Really, really, really hurts it. Even though you get massive salvos, that just makes it where you have a really long reload where you're suffering to any fast maneuvering ship that can dodge that salvo every 30 something 40-second salvo. And if you're isolated or you don't really have any support from anyone, you're just screwed. you're not able to defend yourself against farming ships. Essentially, you can't kill them because of how long your reload is. So I'm gonna put it as situationally good. I love the Vermont, is one of my favorite ships in the game, but just being realistic, it just suffers kind of like how the Yamato does, where it's situationally great, but in some situations it just suffers bad.
Also, if you have a bad day, like you're not, your shots are not on point, you're just not having a good aiming day, then Vermont drops off pretty badly, since that's literally the only reason you play Vermont.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. You have to hit your
But yeah.
shots. If you don't, you're not doing nothing.
Yeah, she's amazing when your shells are just dev striking cruisers or broadside battleships left and right. But if you're not having a good day, you best not play that ship.
Mm-hmm. All right, so moving on from the Vermont, it's going to be the Wisconsin. I'm a little bit biased on the Wisconsin. I essentially play the Wisconsin I play it similar to the Iowa. I play the Wisconsin like the Iowa. I play the Missouri like the Iowa. I play it all very similarly. I'm going to put it as a solid ship. I think it's very strong. If great guns, great AP, great HE, combat instruction's really good, and you do get that construct which helps with the DCP and the heal, but it is kind of hard to get that combat instruction like in concession over and over again, and sometimes you have to rely on it a little bit too much, which can cause you to get killed, which is why I say play like an Iowa, play it further back, use HE, use AP, and use that combat instruction to get that double tap with the reload boost. To get it faster reload for the guns, and it'll do amazingly well with that. What are your thoughts on the Wisconsin?
Personally, I put her in sweaty ships just because, like, those guns are quite amazing due to the battlecruiser accuracy, and they have slightly better performance than
they have battlecruiser accuracy. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it'll be sweaty ships then. I forgot about that dispersion. My bad.
Yeah. That, like, your base accuracy is pretty good, even if your shells aren't, even if you're not firing that many shells. But if you charge up that combat instruction, oh god, that's literally Bourgogne. That's literally main battle reload booster and faster heal all in one. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I forgot about that battle cruiser dispersion. Yep. So Wisconsin sweaty ships, 100% then. All right. So moving on from the Wisconsin, we have the Kremlin, wherever you're at. Hello there, Kremlin. How would you put the Kremlin in today's meta?
Situationally good.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I was kind of hovering around there. It's like situationally good.
If you like farming potential damage, it's a great ship for that. But yeah, if you're not farming potential damage and the enemy's sitting past 14 kilometers, which is a lot of games, then you're not doing anything.
Yeah, that's the problem of the Kremlin. I remember back when the Kremlin could do a lot more longer range shooting, but they did nerf that dispersion a long time ago. So now it's more of just a bow end tanker. Use it to be like an anchor on a flank to hold it, or to heavy push it with your team. It does a really good job in that, being a solid tank. But doing damage, it depends on how lucky you are with the dispersion. Because if people are within 12 kilometers of you, oh yeah, you're going to slap them left and right, because those guns are really accurate the closer the enemy is to you. But outside of, like say, T-Sked with 14 kilometers, you're just going to be in a lot of pain.
You can take a lot of punishment, but you better be hoping your team's taking advantage of it, or you're getting something out of it, which is unfortunately not always the case. Kremlin is still a solid ship to take in clan battles. She is meta in certain seasons.
All right, so moving on from the Kremlin, we have the Brawler Kremlin, the Sibir. I'm just going to put this, I'm just going to put it as a sweaty ship. But a lot of people are going to say, please nerf the Sibir. But you have more experience in clan battles. Do you think this will be our first ship in the Wargaming please nerf section, or do you think it's going to be a sweaty ship?
Not good enough to be in please nerf.
Okay.
So yeah, I think people are screaming for nerfs more because they're not familiar with how she plays. which is kind of a fair assessment. So, which is in their defense, like she's pretty new. You don't know how the gimmick works, and she has pretty good secondaries, but not like Libertad or Schieffen tier of secondaries.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like if the heal, I feel like, because you're just about to talk about the heal, right? I feel like if the heal wasn't limited to, it's like 60 something thousand, right? 68,000. If it had a heal total of 100,000, it would definitely be a pleased wargaming nerf. But since it's limited to only 68,000 is still a lot, right? But think about it this way, right? All tier 10 battleships have a number of like 5 heals, right? Total of 5, some 6, right?
Kremlin has 4. Has 1 less, but yeah.
Okay, so you can build into those heals, get them longer, heal about maybe like 24,000, 23,000-ish, depending upon the battleship, right? And then you can get the improved heal, which gives it an extra heal, right? That means most tier 10 battleships heal over 100,000 easily, right? Some heal way more than that, but most battleships tier 10 heal over 100,000, like 150,000, some even 200,000. So the fact that the Sibir only heals 68,000 is why I consider just a sweaty ship, because it's how I see it is, it's meant to be, it's good in small engagements, like small, like ranked or clan battles where there's less ships shooting at it, so it can tank longer. But in bigger matches with more people that can focus it, it just gets melted way faster. So that's why I put it the sweaty ships and not the wargaming please nerf, because it's only really good in those smaller environments, while in the bigger environments, that heal doesn't last long enough to save it.
Sibir also has a 40mm deck as opposed to Kremlin's 60.
Yep.
That's a pretty big difference too. So yeah, Sibir will, in one extended fight, Sibir is going to be chugging out damage with secondaries and then charging combat instructions to hit the poor cruiser trying to farm her. But once that heal is used up, she's essentially useless.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And yeah. In a randoms battle, that will go by surprisingly quick.
Now the thing is, though, in randoms, even though, like we're saying, oh yeah, it's getting melted fast, this thing is still going to be doing like 150,000 damage. It's going to be pumping out damage like no tomorrow. Those secondaries hit hard, they're accurate as hell, and then you got those guns, and you got the combat instruction that just makes its dispersion, it's what's it, 25? What was the percentage for it? Like 20? Is it 20?
Don't remember.
It's like 20% better dispersion, about 20%. And having that dispersion just buffed to you can just dev strike cruisers, slap battleships with their broadside. It's literally having a Kremlin that's accurate. And that's what literally the F key is for the Sibir. And it's just insanely strong. So that's why we have it at the sweaty ships. All right, so moving on from the Sibir, we have the other one, the Slava. I'm putting this shit in garbage, okay? I'm gonna say it. I hate this ship. I hate what this ship stands for. It's absolute garbage. The only time this ship does well is literally all it is its main job of sniping. Its whole existence, ever since it was first brought in the game, is that it's meant to be the most accurate battleship in the game with that dispersion buff. For the farther away it is, the better. And that's all it's good at. It's good at long distance sniping, and if anyone gives it broadside, it's going to do damage to it. But the thing is, those guns aren't that big, so it's harder for it to slap targets at really far distance. Yes, it can slap cruisers, but battleships, it's not going to slap them as well as, say, like a Yamato or a Bungo. And it's squishy. It's not a very tanky battleship at all. And it has that one good thing, and the rest of the ship is just garbage. Anytime I see a Slava, like, yeah, they do good in a match because they're essentially just damage farming the whole match, and they're not doing anything else. I just absolutely despise the Slava. I hate it. I hate that ship so much. It's like, ugh. I just hate it. I just hate it so much. What are your thoughts on the Slava?
I just don't find her very good. She puts all of her eggs in one basket in making her guns, her shells super fast and super accurate at long range. The issue is, if you're at least moderately aware of her gimmicks, she's pretty easy to counter. Just literally angle in a battleship
just angle.
or a cruiser.
Just angle. That's
Yep.
that's the whole thing about Slava. You see one in a match, it's like, okay, well, looks like I gotta watch for longer shots coming in, and there you go. That's it. It's countered that easily. That's it.
And then, even if the shells hit, you have to watch your distance, because if you are relatively close, it's not uncommon for shells to literally just pass through because they're too fast.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you're getting close in Slava, that's not really great. That's a problem at late game, where you sometimes have to close in, and Slava just gets dunked on.
Yep, exactly. So, Slava, garbage. I hate that ship so much. All right, so moving on from the Slava, we're going to be talking about the Kurfurst. Kurfurst, I'm going to put this in the situationally good tier. And the only reason why I do this is because it is currently one of the best PvE coal ships in the game. Very tanky, hydro, great secondaries, a lot of guns, a lot of DPM. It does amazingly well in operations, asymmetrical battles, PvE mode. It is god tier right now. So I put it in here for the PvE. PvP, it's overshadowed by Libertad, mostly, right? Libertad essentially replaced the GK for like most of any mode that was in, like ranked, it replaced it, brawls, it replaced it, and then you have Schieffen that in brawls it just has torpedoes. Overall, GK kind of got power crept over time, but for operations and PvE, it's god tier. So I put it in situationally good for that reason only. If it was not good in operations or PvE, it would be in the meh tier, but it's really, really good at PvE, so I put it in the situationally good. What are your thoughts for the GK? Do you think this is a good spot for it?
Yeah, it justifies there just for its PvE power. If you want to relax and just slaughter bots, then Kurfurst is arguably the best coal ship for that.
Mm-hmm.
So GK is a pretty solid ship just for PvE.
Mm-hmm.
Like, compared to the non-premium counterparts, she just gets more. She earns a little bit more Commander EXP, free XP stuff.
Okay.
So even though there's technically better secondary ships, Kurfurst will be better for earning EXP in the long run.
Yeah, of course. So, thank you for that, SAT. So moving on from the GK, we're talking about the Preussen, or the Preussen. How would you put this ship? Because, like, I really don't see it around. The guns, like,
I put it at meh.
Like, yeah, like it's meh. Eh.
So while Kurfurst and Preussen are pretty similar, Preussen is at a notable disadvantage in PvE, ironically because of the guns.
Yep.
In asymmetricals, you're fighting lower tier bots, and 16-inch guns on Kurfurst is usually good enough, especially when you're shooting at cruisers. Preussen, not really. Like, the guns are actually at a slight disadvantage as shooting lower tier ships. For operations, it's not bad, but Kurfurst just earns more, so what's the point? And then, yeah, take it into randoms, you run into all the same problems as GK, but at least you have overmatch, so yay-ish? But I wouldn't really want to take Preussen. Just take a better battleship.
Yep. So moving on from the Preussen, we're talking about the Mecklenburg. Mecklenburg, it has good AP, good HE, has really accurate guns. It's good in it's good in randoms, it's good in PvE, because you can technically build it for secondaries if you want. I almost want to put it at a solid ship, but
Solid is fine.
Yeah, like it's pretty solid. Good HE, good AP. It has battlecruiser dispersion, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, let me double check. It might be better, actually.
It has one of the most accurate salvos for a battleship. It's very accurate, so you can use that AP to slap.
Battlecruiser. Yep, battlecruiser accuracy. But you also get 2.05 Sigma, so it's actually better than most battleship battlecruiser accuracy.
Yeah, and that's due to the small caliber of the guns, which is its downside. But it's a really good mid to long distance battleship. Its only main weakness is the fact that turret angles are really bad. But if you keep your distance, it does really well in that regard. So I'll keep it in a solid ship overall. It's essentially good in every game mode. So I'll just put it for solid ship for the Mecklenburg. Moving on from the Mecklenburg, let's talk about the where is it at? The Schlieffen's in here? Yep, all right, Schlieffen.
Yep.
All right, so Schlieffen, you want to put it at solid? I think it's
Situationally good.
Yeah, situationally good, yeah. It kind of has the same issue as Kremlin in that regard, where it does its job well of being a really high DPM glass ship, but once it gets focused, it just gets killed. And that's its main thing. It's a really high DPM ship. It does well in ranked, it does well in brawls, but any game mode where it's going to be spot out in the open by a CV or a sub, it just gets absolutely crushed. But I'm not saying it's a bad ship, it's just really good. It's probably going to be one of the top situational ships. So we're going to be going back through all these ships and putting them in tiers and each of their categories. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that after we're done as well. Make sure to comment what ship tiers you guys have for your own, because I'll be having this tier list in the description of the video. So post your links for your tier lists, or post pictures on what you guys did, and I'll take a look at them and rate them myself for your guys's. So that's for the Schlieffen.
Yeah, Schlieffen is like, we're obviously not counting Schlieffen having a Vampire 2 smoke. So she's really good if you get she's amazing if you get under 12 kilometers. She sucks outside of that. And the problem is everyone knows her gimmick. So they're going to do their dang best to stay away from you. And that's not really good for your damage or your health. But in PvE modes, bots are going to suicide into you, so who cares? Just farm your damages and move on.
Yep, so moving on from the Schlieffen, it's time to talk about the Conqueror next. Okay. All right, so Conqueror. Where would you want to put Conqueror? I think it's solid. I may be a little bit biased here.
Okay. I put it at okay.
I think high. If you're going to do okay, I guess, and just do it top, but me personally, I would have it higher. I love the Conqueror. It's very easy to play. In randoms, it's an absolute monster. I think it's definitely easier to play than, say, like a Yamato. It can smash a Yamato over time very easily, long distance. It can out farm a Yamato. I think so anyway.
It's a ship that always feels like it should be better than what it actually performs at, and that's kind of because HE spamming is its gimmick. But a lot of times you're just over spamming HE. It's just too tempting. So yeah, you light the cruiser on like 4 fires, but he walks away. Meanwhile, a different battleship could have just death struck it. It's also very tanky as long as you don't get hit by torps. And like it's really tanky when played correctly. But as I said, getting hit by torps, anything that hits your citadel, that's gonna be that quickly just takes out your heals right there.
Yep.
If you're in a cruiser, you generally don't feel threatened by Conqueror, just because most of the time he's not loaded. He has HE loaded. So yeah, okay, go broadside. He fires HE. Well, you'd take 10k and a couple fires, but that's better than the 30 or 40k that any other battleship would have done to you.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, I can understand the okay, I guess one then for that one. Okay, moving on from the Conqueror, we have the, we have the Incomparable.
Easy situational.
I think we have too many situationally good. I'm just gonna put okay, I guess. Like, I like the ship, I really do, but in the meta nowadays, it just suffers. The whole gimmick of the Incomparable is it's great concealment, being able to be stealthy, and most of the time, you're just going to be spotted all the time by CVs or subs. So I'd rather just have it at a high level for the okay, I guess, just because of that. but I personally love the Incomparable. It was one of my favorite tier 10 battleships for a very long time, but when subs came into the picture, oh man, my dreams were just dashed for this ship.
Yeah.
So
I do agree. She's just difficult to operate in this meta because you've got super short range and you rely completely on concealment. And carriers and CVs kind of just take both of those away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
Carriers and subs, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have it okay, I guess, but we'll have it at very high in the tier whenever we're all done. But I don't want to have too many and just situationally good, just because we already have so many there. Moving on from the Incomparable, let's do the Thunderer. I'm just gonna, I hate this ship. I hate it. It single-handedly turned a whole meta. It single-handedly did with the Smolensk. It turned a whole meta for however long it was out when it was available, and even after for like a year. It changed the whole meta. I think it should be Wargaming, please nerf, just because of that single-handedly. And I hate the fact that they only nerfed the range and nothing else. It has everything that's great about the British except for the heal. That's the only thing. AP, God tier. HE, God tier. Dispersion, God tier. Only thing that's bad on it is its tankiness. Everything else, super accurate. You can dev strike cruisers, you can dev strike battleships. You're doing like 15, 20k HE salvos. Oh, by the way, 63% fire chance, by the way. 63% fire chance. You're pretty much if you don't get a fire, you know it's rigged. And that's why I put it at Wargaming Please Nerf. It needs to get nerfed in some way, because if you're fighting this damn thing on your flank, you just know you're not gonna win. If it's kiting away, farming you're done. You just need to, you pretty much just go dark and you go to the other flank, because you can only win when it pushes. When it pushes you can beat it. But if it's kiting, nah, you're never gonna win. It's just evil. I hate it so much. Sorry. What are your thoughts on the Thunderer?
Sweaty ships, not good enough to be please nerf.
I'm gonna put it at the bottom of the Wargaming please nerf. But that's just because I just hate this damn thing.
Thunder in her unnerf configuration, yeah, you can put it in please nerf. But unfortunately, after that nerf, and since Wargaming has released some pretty spicy ships recently, it's kind of been knocked down a peg.
I'll put it at the bottom because I don't like how accurate it is and how god tier the AP and HE is, and that's that one for the Thunderer. Moving on from the Thunderer, we have the Saint Vincent. Like, it's such an underrated ship. I want to put it as solid. Like, I think it's a really good ship. Great AP. HE's good as well. Those nuclear torps too are also like they really hurt. It's just there's so many new ships that have come out and kind of overshadow it. But the St. Vincent can dev strike cruisers. It can put up a very strong fight against pretty much every single battleship except, Colombo. But overall, I think it does really well in the solid ship category. Good heal, good maneuverability, good guns. What are your thoughts on the St. Vincent?
Yeah, she's a solid ship, probably on the higher end too. That acceleration, that speed is pretty amazing. The main reason, she actually was pretty overpowered for a point at please nerf category, but she got pretty notable nerf on her super heal, so like still a really good ship, but not the monster she once was.
For sure. All right, so moving on from the St. Vincent. All right, Bourgogne. It's gonna be in the same tier list as the Rhode Island. So,
nope.
What?
Look, Rhode Island's radar is way too good for that ship. Borger has main battle reload booster, which is solid, but I don't put it in the same category.
It'll be high solid ship then.
Yeah. Borger is kind of like the more balanced version of the Rhode Island. You have pretty good 15-inch guns, but they have battleship accuracy. I'm pretty sure they have battleship accuracy. But you have reload booster, so that's what makes the ship a pretty good flank ship. Just get someone's broadside because you can boost out there with like 40 knots or something, and then just fire 2 salvos into them before they realize you're there. That's like the whole point of Bourgogne.
Yep.
I don't put her higher up because she doesn't have some of the ridiculous She doesn't have the flexibility of the Rhode Island here.
Okay. Yeah, I can see your points there. All right, so...
And she also doesn't have fast heals, which is also kind of pretty notable.
Yeah, that is definitely notable. 100%. All right, moving on from that ship, we have the Republic. Meh. Just meh. Meh.
I personally put her at know your effing place. Garbage.
It is... Nowadays, it's just so fucking... Yeah, you know what? Just put in garbage. Yeah, just like... I could play the Republic. I could play it well. I do a secondary meme with it, which is hilarious. And it works because I'm good, so I can make it work. But yeah, that 32 millimeter armor, like all the French ships, man, just just so easy to farm with HE. The Dutch bombers, eat them alive. Just God, when you see a French ship, yeah, you were there during that when we were doing as an example of the Dutch bombers. We were fighting a Patry, me, SAT Score, and one other guy. We were playing the Golden Loot.
Iron Man?
Oh, yeah, it was probably Iron Man. And then we were doing triple Golden Loot div. We practically one-shot a Patry, by the way. And how much HP does that thing have? Like 120? It has one of the highest HPs in the game. And we practically one-shot it.
Patry has 109k.
Okay, so with the flag, it goes up to like 115-ish or 117k-ish. So we practically one-shot it with the bombs in one run, by the way. One run from us, we practically one-shot the damn thing. It just, in the meta now, Republic just sucks. Back when it came out, it was okay, but now the gun angles are garbage. The guns of themselves, they perform good. The good dispersion, good AP, HE's okay as well. But the armor, the gun angles, just awful. And just put in high tier garbage. I definitely rate it higher than the Slava, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, but Repub, it's like, what does she do well now? Because her mobility gimmick is kind of outclassed.
It is.
She does have overmatch, but it's not really. But you have like 8 guns. You fire fast, but firing fast is not the best trait to have in a battleship. If alpha is more important, and unfortunately, Repub just does not have the alpha to stand up to the other ships.
Yep. I 100% agree with you on that one. All right, moving on from the Republic, it is time to talk about the glorious Lauria. So, thoughts on the Lauria?
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, like I really don't see many of them, and when I see a Lauria, I'm like, oh, okay. It's not really a ship I deem as a high threat. Yeah, it can slap, but I don't see it as like a high. Yeah, just okay, I guess. Yeah, good maneuverability, good sap.
I mean, she has a lot of things going for it. The problem is, she costs steel, so she's already a huge investment for the vast majority of the player base. And 2, her tech tree counterpart is, spoiler alert, a little bit higher than her.
Oh, yeah.
That you can get. Yeah. So, like, what's the point of getting Lauria nowadays?
There really isn't when you have the legendary modded Colombo. There really isn't, like, at all. So
that's why I put her at okay, I guess. Like, she performs fine if you have her. It's just that there's no real reason to use her. Or
yeah, exactly.
There's no reason to buy her now.
Yep. So, talking about, you know, the god tier tech tree ship Colombo, legendary mod. Please nerf. Hello. I could play this thing once a month. and do an easy 230k damage game, just easily. Just the gun angles on the, like, 360 rear turrets with god tier angles, the sap, and ridiculous accuracy for dispersion, and the fact that this thing can literally, it's one of the only ships, because of its sap, it can nuke submarines, which I'm not complaining at all about, because I love that. It's one of my favorite pastimes. So is when I play a Colombo, I see a submarine on the surface, like, oh yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, this ship isn't gonna hurt me that much. Nah, just full health to nothing. The sap just absolutely deletes submarines, and it's hilarious because they don't expect it. Oh, it's not gonna hurt that much. Nah, just full health to nothing. And I love doing it every time because they don't expect it. I love it. The exhaust smoke combo, the turret angles off the rear when it's bow in, just absolutely disgusting. 20,000 damage if they're even like, just, oh god. There's a reason why it's banned in most competitive, just because of how strong it is. It's just ridiculous. Because before it was average, but then they did a couple of buffs. They did the rear turret angle buff where the rear turrets were 360 and give it way better gun angles. So essentially it can be perfectly angled to you while shooting all 4 of its guns. And spoiler alert, if there's an enemy on the other side, it can quickly switch those guns to the other side and just slap the living crap out of that person. So it doesn't have to turn his ship that much at all to be able to shoot at multiple on each side. And the sap just bang thing. Like AP, it hurts, but not as much as that sap. Sap just absolutely brutal. What are your thoughts on Colombo besides my absolute rant on the Colombo?
It doesn't make sense. I wonder what wargaming data has that justifies Colombo being in its current state. Because it has everything a battleship can ask for. You have amazing guns, like with that unique upgrade, you actually have good enough accuracy to slap any ship, and I mean literally any ship, for 20-30k. Doesn't matter what angle, doesn't matter what range. In fact, they have extremely fast shells, so you can slap them up to your max range.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but the thing is, normally really strong main gun battleships have the weakness of having a bad hull. Colombo doesn't have that, because you just smoke. If you're under heavy fire, you smoke, run away. Easy. Like, even a caveman can understand that. And yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a good player, a good cruiser player or not. If you don't have instant reflexes, once that sap is into the air, you're going to get hit for 20-30k. No questions asked. It's so ridiculously consistent. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a reason why, there's a reason why it gets banned or instant pick in every competitive season. It's just that consistent and that ridiculous. Like, not even destroyers are safe. You can easily slap fast destroyers with how fast the shells are. Like, I don't understand why Colombo is allowed to exist in this state.
Yeah, it's absolutely absurd. I don't know. It needs to get nerfed in some way, shape, or form. It's just absolutely brutal in its current state. So it needs to get nerfed 100%. All right, so moving on from the Colombo, we're going to talk about the Sicilia. Sicilia, it's like a,
oof.
Like, it can do great in PvE. Like, I don't know. Like,
I wouldn't even put it that high in PvE, honestly.
Yeah, because like, GK is way better.
Meh.
Yeah, just do meh. Secondaries can be fun. Like, AP and HE can be great for it, but
it's like lives in the shadow of the Colombo. The funny thing is, they were relatively balanced against each other when Sicilia came out. And then Wargaming went on a buffing spree for Colombo, and she then ended up the monster she is today. Meanwhile, Sicilia, she's kind of doomed to be forever in the Colombo shadow now. Like, she's actually balanced. Flash probably could use a little bit buff, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So moving on from the Sicilia, we're almost done with this tier list. So we're going to be talking about the next one is going to be the William. I'm going to say the William's solid or almost sweaty. Like, what do you think? It's
Solid.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. When I first played it, I thought I was like, but then I was like, oh damn, those guns are actually really good. Really good guns. The airstrikes are really good too. It's been played in competitive to counter the Sibir to get those airdrops onto it. Those bombs just absolutely slap the Sibir, just whew. Because those bombs go right through the deck too, so there's massive damage. But overall, just a very solid ship. Very solid.
So the problem with William is that it uses the Duncan Hall. And if anyone's played the Duncan, your citadel sits higher than a skyscraper. If you're broadside and someone has even slightly knows how to aim, you're gonna get citadeled. But that being said, you do get enhanced 419mm guns, and those airstrikes are absolutely war crimes on any stationary ship. So pretty fun ship to play, but you just gotta know that she actually has pretty strong limitations as well.
Yep, for sure. So final ship in this list. Oh, sorry, we have two. I forgot. We have the Irresistible left, and then the Libertad. All right, so Irresistible. Okay, I guess. It's a Marlboro hole with a crawling smoke, right? Good HE spammer, great farmer. It's just a great farmer. And like, if you don't got spotting, you're screwed. If you're out in the open, you're screwed. You're in that smoke, or you're done. Very squishy, terrible survivability. Just great farmer. That's it. It's not going to be really used in competitive because it's essentially a giant cruiser in a battleship slot is how I see it. So you can't play it like a battleship, so it's just okay, I guess. And that's just how I'll put it.
In competitive, you pretty much give up that crossfire ability. So you really either bring styling rods to kind of counter it, or you just pick a different ship. In randoms, though, you still have the same problem. You're really good at farming. You're really good at farming targets on your flank. But the thing is, why not play a cruiser as well? Because that thing is pretty big, and cruisers are generally a little bit more flexible as well. Like, literally just play Cerberus. She's not a bad ship by anything, but but you're slotting a battleship into a cruiser slot, and I don't think that's really all that good.
Yeah, no, not for sure. So, moving on to the final ship in this list. It should be the final one in this list. It's going to be the Libertad. Oh my god, why have they not nerfed its survivability or its F key? Like, the Libertad essentially puts the best of both worlds of Battleship. You get tankiness with great secondaries and great guns. It gets all the above, and it gets that British acceleration, unless it's turning, and then it slows down during turns. But before that, it didn't. It was absurdly broken, and it still is. The poor Schieffen, man. Everyone thought the Schieffen was a monster when it came out. No. Libertad turned that on its head. All the other secondary ships can't beat the Libertad because it has the 51mm armor all around it. So they just can't hurt it unless it's bow into them with that 32mm bow. Then yeah, they can. But if it's angled to them, secondary ships aren't doing anything to the Libertad, like, at all. It's not doing anything to them. Those secondaries on the Libertad are legit cruiser guns. And then they can make it faster, do more damage, and it can go to 15.1 kilometer range. Its combat instruction is better than the Hanover, which is a super ship. So it has the better combat instruction than compared to the Poor Hanover. Which doesn't make sense that a tier 10 has a better combat instruction than a super ship. I just find that absolutely insane. This thing can essentially out DPM the whole enemy team if it's just sitting bow into it. It can sit bow in, have enemies on both sides, and kill all of them while sitting back and having a cup of tea or drinking beer or whatever it's doing. It can just sit back and relax and just let those secondaries melt them for days. And if you have the legendary commander on it, it makes this combat instruction come back even faster, and you get your higher secondary DPM and main gun DPM, and you're faster. Overall, just absolutely diabolical, and it needs to get nerfed. 1000% nerfed. Please, and thank you.
Libertad took all of the weaknesses of Schlieffen and threw it out the window. So then you have pretty much an all-round great secondary battleship. Like even if you stay outside the range for secondaries, she still has pretty solid guns, unlike the Schlieffen. And even better than that, you still can't stay out of secondary range when she activates her combat instructions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she also has better survivability than Schlieffen in most situations. So literally outright better than Schlieffen in pretty much in most situations at least. I like that. It was hilariously overpowered when she was first released. Then Wargame just gave her a slap on the wrist. So she's now only mostly overpowered right now.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty ridiculous in clan battles. Just if you're playing an aggressive comp, you can just shove a Libertad into the enemy's face, and it's hilarious. So yeah, I'm also wondering when she's gonna get nerfed, like an actual nerf instead of the quote-unquote nerf that she got.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we went over all the battleships. Now it's time to go through the list and tier list to tiers, right? So we're gonna please nerf Colombo, top of the list, 1000%. Libertad's gonna be second. Thunder is gonna be third. That's fine for that one. I personally put
Thunder and the sweaty ships, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just the very bottom of this one. Sweaty ships, like, I want to put Sibir at top, but I know that the Rhode Island is just insanely good.
I would put Wisconsin. I put Ohio on the lower end of sweaty ships. Wisconsin and Rhode Island are about the same, but I gave it to Rhode Island just because she has that utility. It's actually useful. Like 10 kilometers on a fast battleship like that is actually useful.
I honestly want to put Sibir at the top just because if you take the Sibir into a ranked match, it's essentially a guaranteed win. You can just sit in the cap and kill everything, and a Rhode Island and a Wisconsin can't do that. If they try to do the same thing, or they try to hold a cap like that, or try to do any kind of engagement like that in ranked, they're just gonna get out. They're gonna get out tanked.
In that case, you could put Sibir between Rhode Island and Wisconsin. They all can be justified for like top of sweaty anyways.
Okay, that's fine with me then.
Yeah, poor Ohio.
Yeah, poor Ohio. We still love you though. Solid ships. All right.
So I put
William.
Let's see.
William top. If I can get it there. William's gonna be one of the tops.
I actually think Willem goes on the lower end of solid ships. That airstrike is still situational. It takes 2 seconds longer to land, and it reloads pretty dang slowly. And the guns, they are supercharged versions, but you still only fire 9 shells. So, and I've already stated the broadside problem of her, so I put her on the lower end of solid ship.
Okay. So, how would you do?
I would personally put St. Vincent at the top. I tend to favor more mobile ships anyways, and St. Vincent is pretty dang good for a solid ship. Montana can be like in the middle. It's Montana. Bungo, you could also the other side of the middle.
I would have Montana on the top and then Bungo below it. Like, I don't know, I'm biased to Montana, so that's the reason why.
I would put Bourgogne a little bit lower, though. Like, I think she's solid, but not that solid. That overmatch does become a problem at times.
It does. I would say just below Bungo.
Okay.
And then Mecklenburg and William, like, they're both great. They're great, solid ships. I'd rather play a William than a Mecklenburg in that regard.
And that's fine. Mecklenburg, I mean, it does have accurate guns, but its playstyle isn't much different from the other battleships, if you think about it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so that's done with this one. So, situationally good ships. Louisiana bottom. Louisiana bottom.
We don't like CV players here.
Yeah, you're just at the bottom. Yamato, Vermont, Kremlin, Schlieffen, GK, Louisiana.
I put the Vermont ahead of Yamato here. Because Brick Smash never gets old.
Yeah, I can agree with that one. Kremlin.
On the lower end, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. I love Kremlin, but... yeah. This is... I'm gonna switch them just because GK has more usefulness in PvE than Schlieffen. That's the only reason why I have it at 3.
That's fine.
So Vermont, Yamato, this is fine for the tier list. For the situationally good, okay, I guess. Shiki bottom. I hate Shiki so much, dude.
Shiki just goes down because she doesn't really have a advantage over Yamato, objectively speaking. You're literally paying for 32. You're paying 32,000 steel for Yamato with 510s. It's like, why would you do that nowadays?
Yeah, exactly. So Conqueror and Incomp. Lauria, I'm gonna keep where it is.
I would put Lauria lower on the lower end just because it suffers the same problem from Shiki. Colombo exists. Why get Lauria?
I would still rather play Lauria rather than the Irresistible or the Shiki. That's just how that's
Irresistible. Irresistible at least occupies a interesting battleship with cruiser gun niche that you don't see at literally the only other one would be Illinois. So I would keep her a bit higher just for uniqueness.
Okay. All right, you got me there. I'll just put it in the middle then.
Yeah.
Conqueror and Incomp. Just I think that's fine.
Conqueror is. I would put Conqueror higher because she's more useful in most other situations. Incomparable, she's amazing when you get the right match, but if you don't get a good match like carriers or subs around, or even a good destroyer player just literally slaughtering your whatever spotting, then Incomparable, you may as well AFK.
Yep, for sure. So that's done with okay, I guess. The meta list,
that looks fine.
Nah, Sicilia front. Preussen just sucks. And garbage tier,
Yeah.
Republic and Slava. That's fine. Slava can stay at the very bottom. We hate you with a passion.
That's fine. I mean, you could get some success in Slava. It is still a battleship, and you have good guns in it. It's just that if you're probably going to want to play a better battleship at some point, because Slava is just one-dimensional. And if people understand your trick, well, it's super easy to counter.
Yep, exactly. All right. Well, that is our best battleship tier list for 2025 for tier 10. Let us know what you guys think in the comments and what your guys' ships, what you guys think it's tier wise or whatever. Also, we're thinking about doing this for cruisers and destroyers as well. Let us know if you guys want to see those. But thank you guys for watching and see you guys in the next video.